Hello, everyone. Doing some Guild Wars 1 again today. I've decided to turn on my webcam because I'm not in pajamas. That's my reason. Whenever I look down, that's where my OBS and chat are. So that's what I'm looking at. So yeah, we're going to continue some Guild Wars 1 today. Some of my quest for unlocking all skills. Got a bunch of stuff done yesterday, and I felt like streaming today. And I also want to know why I have 59 drop frames. And I want to figure out at some point why I've had those random stream drops. And I just had a thought earlier, just before I started this, of maybe there's some logs in OBS, but I didn't want to dig through a bunch of those right now. I wanted to start streaming. So I'll dig through that stuff later, maybe figure it out later. Hopefully we don't have too many problems with that today. I'll find out. We'll all find out together. Okay, so I've got some quests. A bunch of these in Dysa. Ooh. I should go check here what we're going to do to start. I'm going to go to Great Northern Wall. Because this is how I have to do this right now. I'm going to go to Embark Beach and see what the Zaishan missions, etc. are. Because that would be useful. I've also... I was listening back to one of the VODs and noticed that my microphone sounded a bit overdriven. So I've adjusted my audio settings some, so hopefully that is not an issue. And it sounds a bit better. Orless Pass. Now that is a great one to grab. Urgos is not a great one to grab. Hey, Clean Star. Good to see ya. I can actually wave to you and you can see it now. Ha! Mamnoon Lagoon. I mean, I don't know. Vanquishes will be happening significantly later on this account. And I might as well pick that one up. Alrighty then. Time to go back to Ascalon. So there's a bunch of different priorities that I can have. I think my first priority... This feels weirdly to the side. I think my first priority is just going to be heading to Sirmia, or the ruins of. Seems like a good idea. You'll also notice, compared to previous videos, that the microphone is coming from the opposite side. Whoa. Seems I had connection problems right there for some reason. Strange. Yeah, definitely something for me to investigate at some point. Because the way that my room is set up now has my microphone mounted at a different spot. It is much less convenient, but the rest of my room is much better arranged, so it's unfortunately how it has to be. Counter blow. I don't want to get counter blowed. Yeah, it's... At least it's not hard mode, right? But yeah, it's pretty rough. Getting them whittled away here. There we go. Can't say that was entirely worth it, but here we are. Hey, Mr. Jack. Good to see ya. I am doing pretty well. I got a bunch of major stuff done. That makes sense. And so I decided, you know what? Since I got done those things that I wanted to be getting done, I was taking priority. I'm going to go ahead and stream today. I had a nice, productive day yesterday. And I'm being attacked by Groll. Yeah, I know, not enough adrenaline. I decided a little bit more defense was plan. I wonder what sort of performances were put on, because this looks like an amphitheater to me. That makes me wonder what sort of performances they put on here. We know that they have, like, a theater culture. Because Lady Althea and the actor stage, right? So we know there... Wow, that was rudely timed. So we know there was a theater culture, but we don't really know much about it. Of course, there's a statue of Lissa at the stage. Makes perfect sense. Paradise some of these Eulidites. Poor Alicia. She's getting so ganged up on. Thankfully, this one's level 6, so she's not dying quite as quickly to these level 4 Grawl. I definitely feel like I've passed the point where the Grawl are threatening enemies, though. They're just mostly annoying. Like, they don't do a whole lot of damage to me. Or anything like that. But I've never really, like, left pre-steering quickly enough for these enemies to feel high level relative to my character. I like spending time in pre-steering enough, you know? So. I'll take that. Wow, that guy went down real fast. What are we doing on funds? 35 gold. That is pretty underwhelming. Spent a bunch on this armor set, though. Hello, Captain Mikan. Your name rhymes with Piken. You've arrived just in time. The prince has already begun scouting the path, and from what I can see, he's prepared to pursue the Char on his own, if need be. He asks that I remain in this area and direct everyone I can find to join him. And I'm doing my best to carry out his orders. Please, gather forces as quickly as you can, and see if you can catch up with Prince Rurik before he tries to face the Char army on his own. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about Sirmia. There's lots that I like about it, but I am not going to do it until I have the Cities of Ascalon quest. I need to go, actually, see about Simon. A lot of Prophecies missions in general are just very long. This little area with all of these god statues. I've always liked this little area. Cities of Ascalon. Greetings, adventurer. My name is Simon. How exciting your life must be compared to that of a lowly scribe like myself. Is there something I can elucidate for you? Cities of Ascalon. Greetings, friend. I wonder if you can help me. I am attempting to preserve Ascalon's great history before all is lost. If, on your travels, you could find and record the founders' inscriptions for the cities of Nolani, Sirmia, and King's Watch, I would be so grateful. I know these great cities are in ruins now, but Lissa willing, you'll find historical markers among the wreckage. Look forward to your return. Interesting that's Lissa willing here. But that's the deity he's focused on. I'll take care of it. This is the quest, by the way. This Grim Cesta right here is the minus 50 HP Cesta of 55ing fame. Counting the Fallen. King Adalburn has commissioned a monument to those who died in the searing. I am compiling a list of the names of the fallen, but I don't have all the records I need. I believe a copy of the old census might have survived in the ruins of Old Ascalon. If you could get it for me, it would be a great help. I'm just looking at the mural of Lissa. This broken bit right there. Specifically, I find it interesting the way the faces are done versus the masks. How much did they use this as inspiration for Balthazar? Definitely feels like some, for sure. Like, if you look at this, you've got the large sword, of course, which actually makes me think of the descriptions of war in the Book of Revelation in the Bible, just because war has a big sword. But you see Balthazar's horned helmet thing going on here and stuff. His beard. Melandru. Now, what's really interesting, and this is potentially an oversight. I'm not sure what the right word is. There's nice Grenth there. I believe we know now that Grenth is Dwayna's son. But Melandru over here has a belly button, which is a very specific sort of scar. Actually, it's something that we kind of take for granted that people have belly buttons, but it's a scar from our umbilical cord being cut. So it's your oldest scar, most likely, and that indicates some sort of birth, right? Rather than being formed raw from, or like coming into being in some raw way. I don't know, there's a lot of questions about the gods, and I really hope Guild Wars 2 eventually begins digging into those stories in more depth. It's obviously touched on some with the Path of Fire, but... And this is a Forgotten concept art for the Forgotten, I believe. Very similar to old stories on Earth of flying serpents that spit fire, as I understand things. All right, I am going to actually go do this quest now. Oh, there's a bunch of quests here. This is a weird truncheon I don't have a need for. Okay. My census is over this way. I might head into Regent Valley, actually, from here, because I've got a bunch of things that take place over on the western side of Regent Valley, which this is closer to. Man, look at this blowing up off of the ground. They do some really good stuff with random particle effects and lightning strikes and stuff. Makes it for a very, like, this is a deeply ruined area. Man, really glad I have Sprint right now. I would like Rush. I'm not sure where I get it offhand. I could check, but it's not like it's going to speed up my acquisition of Rush. Sprint has, I don't know, like Sprint and Rush both have their pros and cons. Rush, for those who don't remember offhand, is the adrenaline version. Sprint is the energy version. So you can keep Rush up all the time just by continuously charging it, but Sprint gets going right away. So there's pros and cons to each. I think if I had to the limit, Rush would be super appealing. There's the chest that I need. Probably fight this Grawl over here. You know, it would be really nice, now that I'm thinking about it, is an energy attack that just has the property, like, relatively medium plus damage, but just the property of you gain a strike of adrenaline. I guess Thrill of Victory is kind of that way, right? That's in tactics. That'd be a good skill to get access to. Okay. We're going after the healer now. Part of it is they have Heal Other, which is a very strong heal, but it doesn't... You can't target yourself with it, obviously. It's in the name, Heal Other. Ugh, I'm so leveled that these guys are not giving me experience points anymore. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, going this direction is probably not optimal for... from a henchman standpoint. Oh, we've got more healers up the hill. Oh, we've got a boss healer. Boss monk up there. A lot of boss enemies. Okay, let's just get this chest. I don't actually trust these level 3 henchmen to do a good job with the quest that I want to go do in Regent Valley. So I think what I'll do is I'll just turn the census in, and I think I'm going to do a super prophecies thing. This sounds fun to me. Oh, War Master Titus has another... Oh, this is the Sextant quest. Oh, goodness. He has a bunch of for me. Scavengers in Old Ascalon. I'm getting reports of scavengers in the ruins of the army citadel in Old Ascalon. I sympathize with the poor, but anything left in those ruins is the property of the king's army. I need you to investigate and clear out any scavengers. Understand, I'll take care of it. Probably not better than my current axe, but... Some new trouble regarding Ambassador Zane has come to my attention. He has been giving strange artifacts to our merchants in lieu of gold. These eldritch sextants must be viewed with some suspicion, and we cannot discount the possibility of a Crichton plot. For now, the king has prohibited any further trading of these objects, but I would like you to take one of them to Priestess Rashana. Perhaps her wisdom can uncover what sort of threat they pose. I'll take care of it. And recruits for Hollis. There has been more trouble at the wall. This time, the Char have assaulted the far gate west of town. Hollis is severely undermanned, so we've been running him reinforcements as they become available. There should be 3 recruits just outside the city gates in Old Ascalon, awaiting an escort. They'll get weapons from the Fallen when they reach the wall. In the meantime, I need someone to make sure they reach Gateguard Hollis safely. Man, there's so many quests in Ascalon, and then it just dries up. I like how much time we spend in Ascalon, but I wish the other areas felt as rich. It's part of why I have such a deep love for Ascalon. You found the census! Oh, I'm most grateful to you. I almost said I was delighted, but one look at this list, so many lost. If we took a census today, the list wouldn't be half this long. That is sad indeed. Well, I definitely don't need either of those. Okay. I'm going to make my way over to Greenwich Courthouse, I think. This does not need to be... I've already done a lore-focused play through the story properly playthrough. And that's on my YouTube channel now. So we're just going to go this way. Because I can. Granted, I should probably be careful with this large group of char. Ryan's doing a good job of disrupting them. You know, there's a space, I feel, for games that don't have to have some sort of story, I guess. I don't know what phrase I'm looking for here. But, oh yeah. Old Mac and Joe. If we can rescue him this time, that would actually be quite good. I don't know if Old Mac has to be, or if Joe has to be alive here or not. Well, Old Mac certainly does. We will do that later. That I can assure you. Oh my goodness, these guys are going to be so annoying to fight. But it's kind of fun to just make your way through the maps without being led through the world by the missions. That's something that you can do in this particular game. Man. I love the views around Ascalon, though. It's just my love of ruins, I think, but... I really do love it quite a lot. There we go. Gotta clear out some of these. I wonder if the movesets between Overseers and Martyrs is different. I mean, I imagine it is. But how is another question entirely. Okay, random question time. Is it a nerf or a buff if Energy Surge did less damage per point of energy lost, but increased the amount of energy that was lost? So, like, what is it now? 10 damage per point of energy lost with, like, 9, 10 energy loss or something like that? What if it was, like, 20 energy loss but 5 damage per? I feel like that would be a buff for its energy denial, but a nerf for its damage. That's probably overall better? for the game. Certainly make it more useful in PvE as a like energy denial source. Absorption Rune is doing a lot of good work. This new armor is also doing a lot of work. It's wild to be on a character that needs to get a bunch of crafting materials, though. I have so many, like, so much more than enough crafting material-wise on my main account. Being like, yeah, I will salvage these for crafting materials. I mean, they're not great, but... There's the Dice of Lowlands. That's my destination. I feel like I'd be well served by Bull Strike. All of these warriors chasing my backline around. Let's see. This axe is currently Furious. I'm going to want to salvage that Furious mod off, because that's a max Furious mod, which is really nice. And because it's a Furious axe, it's not built into it. It should be a mod that I can salvage off. I remember in the slow playthrough, I decided to fight my way through the Ascalon foothills. I'll be doing that soon enough here. This area is going to be kind of rough. I'm going to get, yeah, caught in eruptions. Going to be kind of useless here. Henchmen don't have a way of getting rid of blind, and at present neither do I. Probably... My plan, I think, is probably to fight my way to LA. And one of the big things that I would want to get is Mending Touch. Because being able to remove 2 conditions from myself would be very helpful. Well, not doing anything in there. And it's a 10-second blind off of Eruption, too. It is no joke. Lump of charcoal. Nice. See, there's Greenwich. Man, what does it say that I can look at this map and be like, oh yeah, that's where Greenwich Courthouse is? Like, I can read the roads and stuff into the blurred version. A bit late, but that would be a buff for E-Surge. Enemies usually have plenty of energy to spare, so they'd all likely be dead still before running out of energy. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. But, I don't know, it becomes a lot less effective against warriors and Paragon enemies in particular. Because you get like 2 E-Surges in, and then they're out of energy. Or like 1 E-Surge in, or rather. Oh my goodness, I cannot do anything. These eruptions. Okay, we're fighting in a ward against melee, and it is not going well. In a shocking twist of events, ward against melee blocks melee attacks and makes it hard to hit enemies when you're melee. It's almost like it does its job. You got this, Orion. Baby Reyna. Nothing like a 10-second blind to make you feel useless as a physical attacker. At least ways when there's no one to remove it. Good time to change it to target foe steals X energy from all nearby allies, takes X damage for each point of energy gain this way. Yeah. That would be very, like the opposite of what aneurysm does. But it would basically be aneurysm. But kind of different. I mean, the real problem with E-Surge is it's only 5 energy. It hits in a large AoE, a relatively large AoE size. It's armor ignoring. And a 15-second recharge decreased by fast casting is absolutely ridiculous. Like, the fast casting recharge bonus is just so strong. Yeah. Understandable. I think aneurysm is a more interesting play pattern than energy surge, for sure. I was not expecting a bunch of devours in here, but I feel like in retrospect I should have. Accidentally hit Healing Signet instead of Wild Will, but we're okay. Like, I like energy burn mechanics in general. I think that energy denial is an interesting space. But it's also hard to make it... Part of why it's hard to make it work in PvE is just because PvE is so fast-paced in terms of the battles. Also, I've talked about this before, but these maps are wrong or should not look like that. It should be whole, because at the time this map likely would have been made, the Cataclysm had not yet occurred. The Cataclysm didn't occur until shortly after the Searing. Okay, actually, I do want to go this way. Just one of those, like, details that's super easy to get wrong as game dev, because you're thinking about what the world is now and you have your assets made around that. You forget, like, when would this have been made and what was the world like then? Okay, Alicia just got her face kicked in. And Orion did. Yeah, it's a question of when these maps were made, right? If they were made after the Cataclysm was known about and had been charted. Because this is the weird thing, right? We take cartography for granted. Like in our modern GPS-empowered world. We have satellite images of everything. But, like, map making, like, the process of doing cartography was, and, like, the surveying and everything required for it, was actually quite a challenging task back in the day. So unless they have some... yeah, exactly. It is weird that they would go hang updated world maps all over Ruined Ascalon. It's like, when did they update... Like, when did they develop their maps in the first place? And then... or sinks, who's going around and charting that and then getting the information back here? Like, I would expect Ascalon is not worrying about that, right? And I'd expect that to be a concern more of, like, Kryda potentially. Would be like, what's going on over there? But even then, like, this area is somewhat treacherous, I'm sure. And that would be dangerous to chart and, like, Nicholas the Traveler. There you go. But I'd be... There's clearly a waterway here. What are we looking at on our map? Okay, yeah, that's this waterway up here. Is this is Mineral Springs. So over here is Iron Mines of Moladoon. Right? Is that the name right? I don't know. It's Moladoon. It's that mission where you get infused. So, like, you get infused by the seer in this sort of area, and then Mineral Springs is over here, and you can get infused by the seer over here, or whatever, kind of the opposite side of the lake. It's right next to each other, which I think is pretty interesting. Yeah, like, there's definitely people who are making maps in universe, but, like, what is that actual process going to be like for them, and how is magic empower the cartographer? It's like the sort of detail that, like, really doesn't matter that much, but if you're going for, like, extra thinking about it, right? That extra depth of realistic immersion, I guess, is the best way to kind of phrase it. It is something that you'll want to think about. Let's get some of these squishies down. I have Resurrect, so if I'm the last one standing, I can just start raising people anyway. I don't feel like trying to resurrect Alicia with in the middle of the fight. Yeah, and that's the thing. How maps were made in the olden days in real life without technology. It's like you had people going out with, like, surveying technology and taking measurements, and they were imprecise, and like people sailing along coastlines and doing their best to kind of chart, okay, here's how we moved and here's how the coastline is and stuff. Like, it's a messy process. And that based upon what I know, and I'm sure that the field of historical cartography is rather deep. Well, I'm not too worried about her energy if she has energy for that. But yeah, it's definitely, like, there was a process to, like, the thing is, right, getting down here from here and back again after, like, accurately mapping the new coastline which this is not a small area, right? This is like a similar size to like this interior chunk of Kryta, or a good chunk of Ascalon. It would have taken quite a while to chart all this. Like this area is bigger than what we visit in the Fire Island chain, right? So yeah, substantial period of time would have gone into charting all of this new coastline, and going down there, charting it, and coming back up. Anything that's accurate, that would have taken considerable time. So like 2 years might not even be enough to reasonably do the updated maps. Man, such rugged terrain. Singed oaks. I don't know. I just want to take screenshots of Ascalon because I like Ascalon. Okay. Greenwich Courthouse should be this way. Sort of around these loops here. Give Alicia time to recover. Quickening Zephyr causes all skills to recharge twice as quickly and costs more energy. That is interesting that they have a skill tap for your first time setting in Quickening Zephyr. Huh. Okay. Pretty sure that's where Greenwich Courthouse is. Need to kill a boss so they get their resurrection sickness back. Ooh, that is not great. I don't know if you noticed how fast Alicia's HP recovered with the healing breeze on her, but that health bar was moving. Means her HP is low, which is a sign of how much death penalty she's working with, which is too much death penalty. Too much death penalty. Ah, man. Holding down Shift and hitting print screen does two things. One, it hides the UI, and two, it keeps Windows from popping up with its thing trying to take a screenshot. The ghost of Alicia be around here somewhere too. She is. Okay. I thought Greenwich Courthouse was up here. I don't think this is quite right. Nope. It's more that way, I guess. It's near here. Let's go this way. What I've decided on. Part of what happens too with death penalty is my understanding is the AI tends to prioritize targets with lower HP, which means that somebody with death penalty is likely to be ganged up on. All right. What are we looking at here? Good distance perspective going on. Really thought I knew this map better than I actually know it. Oh, that was tremendously rude. Does this go down there? No, this does not go down there. Okay, let's go this way because this is the way we can go. Try to protect Alicia. I'm sure I'm doing a great job of it, but... Yeah, this is just back down over in this area. It's broken bridge. Well, definitely ruined. Very ruined bridge there. Really nice to have Rebel Yell coming into these areas. Some.